Alright. Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld Trista here. And today I'm going to talk about, my stead and room. Now, ever since 2006 YL, everyone has been talking about my stead and room. And thinking first, oh, you should not be a sailor fighter anymore because Pluto or Underworld is not a world. Well, that is not right. The truth is Pluto is a world. A small world, yes, it's still a world. And there have been there have been some folks out there thinking that out there thinking that, I shouldn't be a sailor keeper either, sense of that. You see, the truth is that was a belief which was held by the wisdom followership. And sometimes the bind in the wisdom followership is that they don't like to shift. And if they learn something new, a lot of them don't like to shift on that new thing. And there's one arm in the wisdom followership that's guilty of this. It's the star-looking arm. That is the arm of the wisdom followership that does not like to shift on anything that they've learned something. They're like, oh no, if I go back on Pluto or Underworld being a world, but small world, but still a world, I'll lose all my onlook from everyone that I got. I'll lose my onlook with my fellow followers of the wisdom followership. Yeah, because a lot of them are worried about onlook. A lot of them are worried about, losing onlook with the folks in the wisdom followership. Now, I don't really care because I don't have any onlook in that followership to worry about. Yes, God made Pluto, or since that's a Latinist borrowed name, the English word for that would be underworld. Yes, it's a small world. Thanks for being aware of that. It took you folks so many years to be aware that God made Pluto a small world. And God also gave Pluto some wakefulness, but not too much. Some wakefulness. And God gave my world one moon called Charon or whatever, but it was really named after the man who seeked the underworld, seeked Pluto or Underworld. And also it takes my world longer to go around the sun once because it's far out in the Milky Way starway. So those folks thought that and then those folks looked at that shit, and I think in their mind they were irked and angered that God made so many worlds and in Milky Way starway. They say, you know what? We'll just say they're none worlds. Then we don't got to keep a reckoning of them, which is bullshit. But there's other smaller worlds in the Milky Way starway, and yes, they are worlds. And no, I'm not going to lose my rank as a sailor keeper. I'm not going to be kicked off the sailor fighters. Nothing like that's going to happen. I'm still going to be the keeper of time and room, and still be, and still be one of those well on-looked, elder sailor keepers. All right. So that is a fuck you to anyone out there that says, oh, Pluto, Underworld, you got to keep up with the times. You're a nun. Your world is a nun world now. Yeah, I don't care. Believe whatever you want. I'm still going to say Pluto or Underworld is still a world. Yes, God made it a small world, but it's still a world. So it's still a world. Yes, God gave it some wakefulness, but not so much. And God crafted one moon for it. However that moon got made, we don't know. It's still a world, all right? And all those other smaller worlds out there, well, guess what? That offshoots to being 5 between F worlds in the Milky Way starway. Deal with it. And no, I'm not worried about the folks in the stars, the star-looking arm and the wisdom and followership getting irked or angered at me. I don't really care if I piss off a bunch of folks. I don't care if I piss off a team of folks out there with the rank of Hitler on it in the beginning of their name who don't want to go back on anything they learn about star, don't want to go back on anything and they learn anything new. They don't want to shift their minds on it. Yeah, I don't care. You know, every day they're learning new things about the moons and the stars and the worlds. But do you think those folks are going to shift their mind on Pluto or Underworld? Fuck, no, they won't. They don't want to go back on what they said in 2006 YL. And here's the thing. They're not gods. You know? They're man-like, woman-like beings who have a belief crafted on what they saw, you know, and you don't have to uphold their belief if you don't want to. And I don't. I still say Pluto or Underworld is still a world. Small world, yes, but still a world. All right? And I don't care if I piss them off or not. You know? So, and this is also offshooted some skits, you know, someone making fun of, you know, making fun of Sailor Moon Hurst, and then saying everyone's back, but I'm not, and then saying, oh, I'm 40, and I'm wedlock freed, and I'm not a world anymore, so I shouldn't be, you know, and I shouldn't be in the Sailor Fighters. You know, and then I asked the one who took my rank away to give it back, but oh no, he won't. You know how these folks are like. Or how about the one where I'm being kicked out of Sailor Fighters due to my world being a small world, and then they shut the door on me. Only I come back and a following 2 and want to get even for that slight. Yeah, we all know how fun that is. And then in that one, I get Sailor Mercury or Sailor Quicksilver to help me because she's worried about she might be next because her world's a small world too. Yeah. At the end of the day, Pluto, Underworld, whatever you want to call it, still world, even if it's a small world. All right. And if some of you folks out there don't like that, that's too bad. You believe whatever you want, and I'll believe whatever I want. All right. Hope y'all like this film. Let me know what you think about my world being a small world, only it's still a world. I, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Underworld, Trista, and I'll see you later.